Nice.
Soon Connor's going to be super cracked out on Kratom.
He's going to come in like, yo, tune isn't that bad. You know, I picked it up with my Kratom and I was feeling good, man.
Here's the thing. Here's a built-in safety for me is I'm only using it as a stimulant, and it only works as a stimulant is if you take a very small amount of it.
So I can't believe niggas
6 weeks from now, Connor's going to be like, trying to walk out with my boots. Like, Connor, what are you doing with my boots? Nothing, bro. Over. I'll be back.
I got to spend $30 on the internet for more powder.
I mean, sweet Kratom.
I will say that, like, that's not one of the early warning signs. It's fine. I already know the exact dosage I need for it not to be a problem. I have it under control. I'm making it work for me, not the other way around.
It's 1 teaspoon. You mix it into some water, and it tastes gross.
I'll tell you what. I did the same thing with cocaine for a while. I knew the exact amount I needed to do before. Then I wasn't gonna be like everybody else around this bitch all fucking doing cocaine all the time. I was like, yeah, I do a little bit of cocaine every now and then.
Social cocaine.
Yeah, a little bit of social cocaine. You know?
Well,
I justified it as social cocaine. I was just always being social.
Yeah, even when I was being social, I wouldn't do it all the time.
I sent you that meme the other day.
Which one?
Like, I quit doing drugs. Like, yeah, that's good. Well, if there's cocaine around, I'm going to do it. Like, obviously.
Yeah.
That's me, for real. Like, I don't buy no more cocaine, but if someone's like, hey, you want some of this? Like, why not?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
It's money down the drain if you don't.
I was using the cocaine very, very medicinally. I was using it like I was using it to like get up in the day and like go work out and shit. Like
in the morning, you know, with my morning cup of coffee, I bust a rail down. I get going for the day.
Not a rail, a bump. You know what I'm saying? A bump. And you take the bump, you go pump it up, pump it up.
Yeah, Jeremy could do like a bump of cocaine or like the highest quality coffee you can buy. It's like,
look, I'll tell you what, it was a proven method. I got real healthy that year that I was doing the cocaine.
You were losing a lot of weight.
Appetite suppressor. You know what I'm saying? One bump and I'm good for 12 hours. I don't gotta eat shit. I can just keep working out.
I'm trying to get a doctor to give me Adderall, man. Trying to lose some weight.
Average Hipsters. Today we're going to be talking about biker gangs. We're talking with Antoine, Jeremy, Zach, and Connor.
Hello.
Hi.
Diving into the pits of hell.
The Hell's Angels, to be specific. Hey, that was quippy right there. That was. I want to say it. I'm going to leave this in. I'm patting myself on the back.
Pat on the back.
Okay, so I got to say, from what I've been hearing so far, it sounds like...
So what you're saying is I got an assist here?
Yeah.
You got an assist.
You got the assist. It sounds like...
It was more like an alley-oop, for real.
So if I'm to believe what you guys are saying, it sounds like Sons of Anarchy is a documentary.
No.
Yeah. So the thing that pisses me off so much is like everyone talks about like they have all these goddamn TV shows about the FBI and shit about it and how they're solving all these like serial murder cases. And there's like a million. There's like fucking Hannibal and like Criminal Minds and all these stupid shows. Bones about how the fucking like these big like alphabet government organizations are catching serial killers, and like that's like maybe 0.1% of all they do, and the other shit is just like trying to fucking deport people and
looking for fraud.
Yeah, just bullshit, absolute garbage.
Well, they also do like entrapment to people to make things look worse than they are.
Wasn't there that FBI thing, or was it FBI or ICE who set up a college for immigrants to sign up to?
Yeah,
it sounds like
they signed up
college,
to it, and then it was like, it's like it's not a real college, and you all have to go.
Deported them, which is fucked up. There was also in Ohio, the ATF hired somebody to look into some crime, right?
Yeah.
And while he's looking into crime, he ends up starting the biggest Aryan Brotherhood motorcycle club in the United States, in Ohio.
like legitimately?
Like legitimate Aryan Brotherhood motorcycle club.
I'm sorry.
Started in Ohio. On some crazy shit.
Like how long ago was that?
What is the name of the biker gang?
2004. It's called the Blood Order is the name
Of course.
of
That
Sucks. These people are the worst at naming
they
shit.
literally have no creativity. Like, I hate how they name everything.
Tradition defenders. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yep, they were the
Patriot
Blood
America.
Defenders. And he basically just asked the ATF to do it because, like, they sent him in to catch this dude that was doing illegal arms. So he goes to
the
the
idea
dude.
was to make a whole motorcycle gang to like pretend to buy the guns.
No, not even that. He meets the dude, right? So he meets the dude. When he meets the dude, he's like, yeah, the dude's like, yeah, if you order these parts, I can make you these British machine guns. He's like, we'll pay you $500 a piece to make them. They go order the parts. They give it to him, right?
Yeah.
Well, they give it to him. Mission complete. You know what I'm saying? He delivers the fucking guns.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be over. Nah, dude goes to the ATF boss and he's like, yo, man, this dude's talking to me now every day. And he likes me, bro. And like, me and AJ, which stands for Aryan Jim. His name is
Aryan Jim.
Aryan Jim.
It's like,
but he goes by AJ unless you're part of the motorcycle
club. It's
club.
like that scene in Goodfellas where it's like, this is Frankie the Chin. He's got a big chin. Like where they're naming all the fucking mobsters.
Yeah. His name is like James. I forgot his last name, but he goes by AJ.
Yeah,
Aryan Jim.
Joey 2 times because he says everything 2 times. Aryan Jim because he loves the white race.
So Aryan Jim and the ATF undercover agent become best of buddies, right? One day they're talking and they're like, yeah, man, well, Aryan Jim is like, yeah, me and the Aryan Brotherhood wanted to always start up a motorcycle club because the Hells Angels are over in fucking Youngstown and they're fucking killing it.
Are the Hells Angels really in Youngstown? I didn't think there were any of those guys left.
What I found out through reading this was the Hells Angels are thick as fuck
everywhere
in Northeast Ohio, but they move so smoothly that they needed the ATF to come in to investigate, right?
Yeah.
So then his big plan becomes, well, me and Aryan Jim came up with this plan to each get 5 guys and we're going to start a motorcycle club, right? And then we're going to fucking go after the Hells Angels and start this war so we can find shit on everybody.
This seems like they shouldn't have used a government agency to do
No. This is all the way out of line for the ATF, right?
Okay, this guy seems like he's just a racist and he just wants a racist motorcycle gang.
He's like, hey, what if I use the American government to help me fund my fucking Aryan nation?
Oh, not to mention that he just moved from California over to Ohio so he could live with his wife now and not be part of the motorcycle gangs anymore. But he thought he felt like he was missing something in his life.
So he wanted that.
So like the ATF agent at this point in my mind, just a fucking criminal.
Yeah,
and he's like, yo, I found a legit way.
So
and he even says like, I grew up in a rough neighborhood, so like I fit in with the bad guys fit in with me. He's like we all get along and nobody suspects anything.
This motherfucker thinks he's like Rust Cole from True Detective and he's just like some like badass gonna infiltrate the biker gang.
Oh no, he's a badass according to his backstory that the dude made for him, the confidential informant that got him hooked up with Aryan Jim. His backstory is he used to travel around with his dad, with the dude's dad as part of the Hells Angels, going to bars and wrestling bears.
What? No.
Wrestling bears.
Man, if somebody
dude,
like was trying to recruit me to a fucking gang and you're like, yeah, this guy used to wrestle bears, I'd be like, what's up? You want to wrestle? Like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't wrestle bears. I know you didn't.
This dude grew up in like fucking
the equivalent of Shaker Heights.
Yeah, he grew up in Shaker Heights and he like got into one fight at school where they didn't even touch each other. And they said he won though. And he's like, I can fight, man.
Look, this guy got punched in the face, got his glasses knocked off. And he was like, hey, can we pause the fight? And like, that's him wrestling a bear. Like,
I'm a bit of a badass, actually. Can you put in some shit about how he wrestled a bear?
So he came out of retirement to take this I wrestle bears thing.
Is he fighting more bears?
No, not fighting more bears.
Absolute
So when
shame.
is this? Because he started the whole project in 2004, right?
2004. No, so it happens fast. Like he was only associated with Aryan Jim for like a couple weeks.
Wow. That's a lot of trust real quick.
And they gave him permission to start this biker gang. So
I mean, why is the ATF approving fucking biker gangs getting started quicker than my podcast is taking off? Like, this is bullshit.
Also, let me just say, Aryan Jim obviously lives in his life like on his sleeve. Like the fact that it's in his name what he's about.
Right.
Well, no, but his name, he goes by AJ.
Yeah.
So, like, it's in his name, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody you think is, like, named AJ, it's like something junior. You know what I'm saying?
Junior.
Not Arian Jim.
I'm now going to assume
Be suspicious if everyone named AJ?
Everybody named A whatever. Like,
So, okay, when he met...
AJ Soprano has some explaining to do.
I guess you are right, though. He is, like, all out on his sleeve, because there was a little part about this where, like, when he met up with them, they were all drinking and stuff, and then Arian Jim was the first one to pull his shirt down to show his swastika tattoos, to be like, I'm a captain in the Aryan Brotherhood.
So I gotta say this right now, because I thought that biker gangs today were a bunch of old men who just drank and did nothing. Like,
no.
I was really of the
Well, kind of.
I was really of the idea that like they were not a serious threat of any kind, and they were just a bunch of like boomers who wanted to seem
That's
cool.
the American complex, man, because like normally it's just full of white old dudes.
Yeah.
You don't think a group of white old dudes out here selling methamphetamine and pimping out their
Like, I knew they used to do that. I knew they did
third
that in like the
generation cousins.
60s and 70s and shit. I used to think they stopped.
Nah, they kept going, man. That shit's a culture. They love it.
That's where the whole phrasing of one percenters comes in. What was it? It was like there's a riot that happened in 1947 at a bikers event, and later on it got like in Times Magazine and all that shit. The president at the time of the American Motorcycle Association had said that this is a very poor example of bikers. 99% of bikers are upstanding citizens, and it's only the 1%ers are the ones that cause all the chaos. Eventually, they took that brand and,
They're like,
Yeah. It's like when you name a serial killer, bro. They embrace that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, we are the 1%, bitch. The Sons of Anarchy is like the embellished life of these guys.
No,
you know
I
what I'm saying?
think Ron Perlman is running grenades and weed across the border for enough money to afford a split level home in a shitty fucking California town. Because that's what I'm hearing.
Hey, owning a split level home in a shitty California town is pretty prestigious.
Yeah.
Not gonna fucking lie.
I'm just saying,
You
if
fucking made it,
If I
bro.
killed 20 police officers, I'd probably want something a little bit better.
You're in Cali, bro. Like if you were in Ohio, you'd have better. But you wanted that Cali life. You wanted
He's
that
not living
sunshine.
in LA. He's living in a fucking like suburb.
No, that's California still.
Yeah, it's just the cost of living over there. You want the sunshine? You want that nice shit?
Then you have to shoot a grenade launcher in a fucking cop car.
or
Or you have to be
Mexicans.
Soldier Boy and drop ship.
Yeah, some video
game
games.
systems, some DVD players.
I'm just saying, man, the economics of that show are fucked up. And that's what we're talking about. Sons of Anarchy.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
My favorite guys are the ones who wear like the Sons of Anarchy Cleveland chapter.
That is hilarious. I
Sweatshirts or
can't
have
even
them on
lie. I had one at one
I
point.
know.
I was the worst kind of person.
The Ohio one.
Ohio chapter.
At least you acknowledge it.
Yeah, you have to come to terms with your past.
Yeah, I was-
At least you didn't have it on like your fucking Honda Odyssey minivan, which is my favorite shit.
So can I just give my overall my thesis on the biker gangs?
Let's hear it.
My thesis on
Your
biker
thesis.
gangs is they are just like the high school dropouts of the mafia. You know what I'm saying? Like they wanted to be organized but never could get like their shit together enough to become the mafia, but they're just struggling along enough to like keep an organization running.
That's actually that is not true.
The Hells Angels used to be extremely organized. Like
Used to be, but they started. I mean, they did the same thing the mafia did.
Yeah. Once the government got into it, they did their thing.
They are still the largest motorcycle club in the world. They have weird enough. I went to their website. They have their own website where they sell their merch and shit. Yeah.
I want to be a webmaster for the Hells Angels.
Probably paid, yo.
It's pretty simple. There's events. There's the merch page, and then I went to click on the history. Now, it was super fucking misleading because I clicked on it, and it went into like how the name came up and how like the original founder had a friend that mentioned it after the Hells Angels pilot from World War II. And then the rest of it, I couldn't even scroll all the way down because of how much information they had. It was about just the rest of the actual Hells Angel pilots from World War II, and it was more like pilot history than anything to do with the fucking motorcycle club whatsoever.
I mean, yeah, because the motorcycle club is illegal, bro.
You're right. Well, no, the club isn't illegal. They do illegal things.
I want to circle back to Zach's statement about how they got their names, and it's absolutely someone being like, wouldn't that be fucking sweet if we were like angels, but from hell? And then they do more meth and they're like, yes, that's a great idea.
I was just about to be like, meth.
Well, again, all the motorcycle clubs, they originally just started as that. It was a bunch of guys with motorcycles that wanted to ride together. And then it kind of evolved in its own thing. But like, they are well organized. One of the groups I looked up was
I don't think they're like mafia organized.
No, they are, because
they're not like selling gas certificates organized.
They're probably like...
No, they are.
They're like selling methamphetamine and hookers organized.
They're probably like the mafia today.
No, the pagan...
One of those guys got murked by a QAnon dude. Like, they're not that organized.
Yo, what?
Dude, do we have to talk? You didn't know that?
Dude,
No.
do we have to...
It was a goddamn mafia, like, Don. I don't know what his rank was or whatever, but he's like the only like 5 families mafia leader to be killed since like the 70s.
Uh-huh.
And he was killed by a QAnon guy who thought he was in like the QAnon conspiracy.
Yo, what?
Dude, the dude went to court and he drew like a Q on his hand and put it up.
Yo, Q people are my favorite.
We're going to discuss this more later, but apologies. Yeah, I'm just saying the mafia is not that fucking organized, and they probably just they have a different aesthetic than the bikers.
Which is fair enough. But what I keep trying to say is the one group that I really looked into, which was the Pagans Motorcycle Club. They're mostly like East Coast, so Maine, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and all the way down to Florida. Have really strong ties with the Pennsylvania or the Philadelphia mafia family. I think it was like the Brumar Scarfo mafia family or something like that.
I don't know. I've watched Goodfellas.
But again, they are an organized crime syndicate. Theirs is just like,
they're organized.
It's a different aesthetic. That's all.
Their aesthetic is hookers and meth. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Not like,
guns.
let's dress up in a business suit and sell some gas certificates
leather
because we
cuts
can make...
that you will die for. You're gonna die for your cut.
Yeah, no colors allowed in the bar, bro. No colors allowed in the bar.
So I want to pivot for 1 second to what I think is the most powerful biker gang in the world.
Oh.
And it is not the Hells Angels.
Motorcycle Club of America?
Is it Bikers for Trump? Is it Bikers for Trump?
It's close to that, but no. It's in our frozen friends across the fucking pond in Russia. There is a biker gang called the Night Wolves.
Okay.
Are they the racist ones?
They're probably racist.
I think you gotta be racist to be in a bike gang.
No. My cousin actually leads a chapter of a thing. And
Is it a motorcycle club or is it a bike gang?
Are there criminals involved? Probably.
Are they doing criminal?
What makes the difference? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many criminals do you need to become a motorcycle gang over a motorcycle club?
A motorcycle
There's criminals
club is-
that like are just out here that like they're not doing crime with their club. They're just doing crime on their own.
I think you got to be doing crime with your club to be like a motorcycle
crime
gang.
club.
Yeah, I think that's the difference here. Is they're organized running.
So it's
like,
a motorcycle club.
Yeah. That's fine.
I guess you're right. Biker gangs are like white people gangs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like throw your hood up.
It's just different.
Put your hood on.
It's like fucking like Peaky Blinders shit with a different aesthetic. It's like they just want to do like the weirdest, lowest level drugs and like prostitution shit, but instead of having like little flat caps,
Murder for hire too.
they have leather vests and bikes.
So let's hear about this Ukrainian group.
The Night Wolves is what they are called.
Aren't they Russian?
They are Russian.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Russia's trying to
Now
take over
who's the
Ukraine.
racist
They're
answer?
trying to take over. They're trying to take over. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the future.
Well,
The Soviet bloc motorcycle gang.
let me tell you guys about the Night Wolves. First off, their flag is in space because you know who put it there? Vladimir Putin himself.
The Night Wolf's flag?
Yes, he sent it into space
So
for
flat
him.
out, they win, bro. Fuck everybody else. They got a biker gang flag in fucking space.
It's circling the Earth in rotation right now above us.
I want a satellite with a sick V8 on it, just like going, dude.
I was gonna say pictures or it didn't happen.
So this biker gang originally started as a criminal enterprise in Russia, right? But
Like when? I'm very interested in time periods here.
man, you're killing me.
He loves the time periods, man.
Do you know when Gorbachev was in power in Russia?
the 90s?
Yeah, that's like the 80s, 90s.
Okay, they started around Gorbachev times. Like, well, that's actually when they switched over from being a criminal enterprise to being what they are now.
So kind of at
Can
the
I try to
fall
take a
of the
peek in the
Soviet-
future here? Was Putin a night wolf?
no,
No, he was KGB.
yeah, Putin was KGB, right?
A little scarier, in my
At the
opinion.
fall of the Soviet Union, they sort of transitioned.
From being criminals to being political activists, right?
Yeah.
Oh, their
So-
eyes off.
They kind of, yes. They are considered a soft power of the Kremlin now. And whenever somebody's causing problems for Putin.
Oh, Night Wolf's rolling up.
Yeah, Night Wolf's rolling up.
Son.
So they're sort of like a not so secret police.
Yes. And
I don't even think they're like secret. I feel like they're like the not so secret extortion squad. Like,
so even during when Russia was annexing Crimea, they fought alongside pro-Russian militias and helped them take over. They stormed a naval facility with a fucking biker gang.
That's not good.
So yes, that is what I think is the most powerful fucking
because
they're backed by the Russian fucking government.
This is extremely funny because it really does put into contrast how cucked Trump is. That he has like the bikers for Trump, and all they do is just rev their engines real loud, and they won't annex anyone for him. If he told him to go take like Nova Scotia, they would tell him to I gotta my grandkids are in town that weekend. I really can't make it.
So I want to go back to how the Night Wolves helped storm a naval
base.
So it's either a bunch of like Spetsnaz, like SWAT team armored up individuals on motorcycles, or it's literally just men in like sleeved cut like leather vests just running in. I don't know which one I like better.
I believe they went in on the bikes.
That's what I'm saying. Either it was fully swatted out,
they like fucking slaughtered.
They just had the vest on with their like chest and arms fully exposed.
So it had to be the exposed version.
I don't know which one I enjoy more.
So currently, though, they receive every year millions of dollars in government grants for hosting like patriotic shows.
I was just about to ask you, they have like government funded bikes.
Yeah,
like, they got the coolest chromed out bikes because Putin's like, here, motherfuckers.
Yeah, literally.
Do you think they have like Russian Harley knockoffs, so you don't have to buy like American shit?
Probably. For sure. They definitely got some baggers over there that are not Harleys.
And their leader is known as the Surgeon because he used to be a dental surgeon.
That's anticlimactic.
That's really funny because I think that's the most thing that's true about all motorcycle clubs in this country is I think most of them are dentists.
What?
Yeah, I think like motorcycle clubs, not the gangs, not like the fucking Hells Angels or whatever.
Sorry.
Most of the people who ride like Harleys and shit in America are like dentists and oral surgeons and shit who are like, I need to be dangerous
most
now.
99%ers that are riding around in bikes are dentists.
Because those shits are expensive. I can't buy a fucking like real motorcycle.
Well, it's a little different in Ohio because you got like a solid 3 months to ride it and then the rest of the year is fucking washed.
One last caveat on the Night Wolves is that their dream is to reunite the USSR. That's their political goals.
The Night Wolves are Antifa. They're comrades.
You said the leader was originally a dentist, right?
Yes.
I love that. We're gonna make Russia communist again, but we're also gonna annex Crimea.
I can easily see like the dentist, like the
USSR.
USSR.
They just want to like reclaim all of the USSR territory.
Yeah, but they want it to be like Russia now.
Yeah. Yes. They want it to be Kremlin.
But like just a Russian USSR dentist. I don't work on your teeth. I work on our teeth.
Yeah. I want to give you a little bit of pushback, Zach, on saying that you can only ride a motorcycle for 3 months out of the year here, because we have a mutual acquaintance who tried real fucking hard to ride his bike 12 months out of the year.
Yes, but we also know this mutual acquaintance was dumb as fuck.
I'm just saying, people try it.
We're talking about the man who took out a payday loan to get that bike to ride 12 months out of the year, to then forfeit on that payday loan, thinking that they're not going to get back to him somehow.
Yeah, it was a very shitty bike too.
We're talking about a guy that looked at us with confidence and say, "Oh yeah, my credit score's good. It's like 420. Isn't that great?"
Woo!
Yeah.
You should have seen his face when I told him that.
Failure of the American education system. I don't know why you guys are mad at this dude.
He was forward thinking.
The aggravation at the wrong people.
He was forward thinking though, because he used the payday loan to buy the bike and also a full winter setup so he could drive it because he bought it in like fucking November.
Fucking idiot.
Well, yeah.
Anyway,
the November part, no fault of the American school system.
Yeah, that's
the credit and the loan part, definitely fault of the American system.
I mean, mean, you can use payday loans. Like some people have to. I get it. Like, but this was not a
was a common thing for him. This was his like go-to thing.
Oh no, people that use payday loans, it is their go-to thing.
Payday loans.
They love paying 435% interest.
I went to a payday loan one time and I was like, never again.
Yeah. I went to one, defaulted, paid it back, and was like, never again. Because like when I realized that I got to give my whole check back basically just to take out another one, I was like, well, you guys can suck a dick and chase me for a couple years until I get that money to pay y'all.
Legally,
I think I actually disputed it and got away with it. Legally, I live in Florida.
Anyway, so we were talking about the Hells Angels.
Well, just the
one percenters in general.
So the other thing, the other biker gang.
Someone mentioned the pagans. Are they like Nordic supremacists or something? No. What's their deal?
So the pagans are a predominantly East Coast American motorcycle club.
Yeah.
Their logo is the it's weird. It's like this troll looking like fire giant deity from like Nordic myth. Mm-hmm. And like there's no chapter where like they're located. They're like weirdly nomadic. They go up and down. There's no headquarters for the pagans. The most predominant state that they're in is Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So, but I think that there's a lot of crossover between like Nordic mythology and religion and white supremacy. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, from most of the research I've looked into for the pagans, they're not a white supremacist group. Honestly, like their requirements for like joining the club.
They definitely have members that aren't white. Okay. I can see that now already, just like scrolling through the page.
But yeah, it's basically you've never like applied or like attempted to become a cop at some point. You're over 21. You have either a Harley Davidson or a Triumph motorcycle.
It's like American motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't be a registered sex offender in any format.
That's understandable.
Yeah, which is understandable. Yeah, but like the big thing,
these sounds like rules for joining an organization that I would run.
You're right. But they're also like they started, I think, in like the late or early mid 60s, and basically the way they grew, they started with 13 members. And then eventually they would like go to like different, like not even 1% motorcycle clubs, just different motorcycle clubs, intimidate them to like then join theirs. And then they eventually got to the point, I think the highest they were at was like 5,000 active members or patched members, not to mention not counting the innumerable amount of prospects that they probably had at the time or probates or whatever. It's just after that, they then started moving through like guns, prostitution, methamphetamine. So the standard 1%er business model.
I gotta say,
the favorite drug of all bikers, meth.
Their rules really prohibit me from doing what I want to do, which is buy a Ninja and try and join like an American biker gang. So I think that'd be very funny if you had like the like leather suit and the little Japanese bike and try and
also. So apparently the national president of the Pagans MC since like the late 80s, they on average earn more money than the American president. They're almost kind of like union where you have to pay your dues while you're in that community. And obviously, as everyone's kind of already know, there's no leaving. That's your life now. You want to leave, you're going to have a lot of issues if you try so.
Well, I get all your tattoos blacked out and
or direct you to season 3 of Sons of Anarchy. I don't know if I can remember it.
Sorry, I think you're right. It is season 3.
It's like before or after they went to Ireland.
No, I don't know. Before, when the guy gets the shit burned off, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
But like apparently like the pagans, their biggest like rival is actually the Hells Angels, where they'll go to conventions.
The Hells Angels are everybody's biggest rival in America.
I know, it's like
yes, but like
no, and Canada. They're the biggest rivals in Canada too.
It's kind of like our podcast rivals are Chapo Trap House.
Well,
it's on site with those motherfuckers.
Everything that like I've seen with like the different motorcycle gangs, like they've almost like carved out very distinct territories. Hells Angels, West Coast, Pagans is East Coast.
Well, there's a lot of West Coast, like Vagos and
warm out there. You can drive a bike for
all
way
day,
longer.
Right? Yeah, I'm saying like they're
makes
taking
sense.
over.
But like there was, from what I've seen, like the big 5 were the Hells Angels and the Mongols, which were in like the same California area. Pagans, like I said, East Coast. Banditos, which is basically like south, going from like bits of Florida to like Arizona and stuff. And then I don't remember where the Outlaws were mainly like focused at. I think they were like
those are the Canadian ones.
No, I don't think the Canadian ones.
They're Canadians.
I know the Banditos at some point they tried forming a charter up in Canada, but at some point there was like this like random like Civil War infighting within the Banditos that basically purged charters trying to form in Canada. And by purge, they kidnapped like 44 different members and they executed them in like this barn house.
Wild.
So
Real purge.
Yes, real purge.
Are all of these guys still like racially based, like in Sons of Anarchy? Because that was my biggest takeaway from that show.
No, Banditos is mostly
American propaganda, man.
It's Hispanic and white.
Because they don't want you to join a biker gang. FX doesn't want you to join a biker gang. Follow the money.
So as far as like, I know for sure the Outlaws had a strong presence in Canada at one point or another in like the late 1970s.
Do you know where the mother charter is? Because like
Redwood, California, original.
These different groups I'm talking about, they have charters in Europe, Asia, Russia, Africa, and especially Australia. I was surprised. There's a lot of motorcycle gangs in Australia.
I mean, the
Side
only
note,
thing
there's one biker gang in Japan.
Yeah.
Because they're all united together, but they have different...
McCook, Illinois.
Okay, so center United States.
Illinois.
That would make sense. Like I said, so they've all carved like distinct territories, but like their borders will eventually clash with each other.
The only thing I know about Australia comes from Mad Max, and he had a motorcycle in there, so that kind of tracks for me.
Oh, there's also a Outlaws MC of New Zealand as well, you guys.
Oh yeah,
There's the clubs everywhere, man. Japan, I feel like is the coolest club.
These are like the big five.
The islands are very funny to me because at least Japan, Australia are pretty big. Like
Right.
you can really drive around over there.
I mean, Australia is a fucking continent. It's not just a island.
Yeah. But like New Zealand, like you really got a limited range of.
I mean, but like your limited range looks nice.
Look, sometimes you want to dress up like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings and, ride a fucking motorcycle. That's what happens.
An aesthetically pleasing biker gang experience, then you should consider the New Zealand gang. If you're running meth from fucking Mordor to fucking Hobbitown.
So Japan's biker gangs work a little different.
Do they have Harleys there, or do they have like cool bikes?
They have
Japanese road bikes, which are kind of like the Harleys. They just look different.
Sure.
all about like heavily accessorizing
So
their bikes.
do you consider crotch rockets to be the cool bikes? Is that the cool bike?
Not like crotch rockets, but like I think Harleys kind of look stupid.
Baggers or like
the
little
Roadsters,
baby
Cruisers?
Harleys?
Like, do you want the ones with like the plastic on it that like you lean forward on the whole time? Is that the kind of bike that you're looking
dirt
for?
Bikes are cool.
All right.
Well, then you like the Japanese road bike because it pretty much looks like a dirt bike with a headlight.
Yeah, that shit kind of rocks.
What is it, a Honda?
Yeah.
No, it's a Japanese road bike, man.
I like a Honda. I think BMW makes some cool bikes.
So
I end up BMW makes bikes.
They do. They're like the big bulky like
touring
roadster
bikes, too.
ones.
this Japanese motorcycle gang really isn't about
Crime.
crime. Right.
They're just all about riding.
They're about riding, and like they're really into like who leads their chapters. And the way you get to lead a chapter is, of course, mutual combat. With a stick.
Yes.
With a stick, they have the stick fights, and then they have like just hand to hand combat.
I appreciate the way you like led that up. They settle things out with mutual combat.
Yeah, and then the mutual combat, it happens at their get-togethers, and then what you get from the mutual combat is to ride in the front of the pack.
Oh, you get to be
your
front
leader.
door.
That's your leader. You're the line leader. You know
You
what
get
I'm
to be
saying?
front door of the pack.
And then like
Cool.
basically all the Japanese ladies, they want the line leader. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck yeah.
Their peak of like membership was like 45,000 members.
So it's kind of like some Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift shit.
You are the DK or not?
Yeah.
Like they went up to 40, but they dropped down. That was in like the 90s where they hit their peak. And they got pretty violent. They were like running around beating other people with sticks at one point.
I know there was like a weird like curfew thing for like riding around at night in Japan or something. At least for a while.
I feel like all the gangs used to be bigger because no one has any fucking money now, so he can't afford motorcycles to do crime.
Or like
I
it
don't
was just
have a
way more
crime
boring.
vehicle. I just can't afford that.
Well, also like not only that, there's cameras everywhere now, so like the crimes are harder.
Yeah. Because it was like you watch those. Like I know they're all propaganda and whatever, but you watch like cop shows and fucking like movies that take place in the 60s and 70s, and you're like, I could have gotten away with so much shit.
Oh yeah,
Literally.
You go farther back, you talk about like 1900s, and you're like, oh yeah, you could have really gotten away with some shit.
And they don't do cuts there. They do leather jackets, military style leather jackets.
Oh, that fucking kicks
with
ass.
boots and baggy cargo pants.
I found my gang,
which is
guys.
like totally.
I'm gonna go become a fucking whatever. What are those guys called?
They are called the Bazoku.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna try and say that without even looking at it.
Can I see the words?
Yeah, try to say it.
Yeah, it just looks like Doku.
Bazoku.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna become one of them. I'm gonna be badass.
You got a better interpretation?
I mean, aesthetically, it does.
Bozozuku.
Bozozuku?
Okay, and yeah, here
Bozozuku sounds a little better.
to answer your previous questions. Here's the bike.
What, a
I think
cafe
is cool.
racer?
Those are the ones you think are cool?
Yeah.
Those are the lame ones.
No, those things
cafe
kick
racers
ass.
are cool.
All right, that one's not that bad. I do prefer.
I like baggers.
Yeah,
No, these are the ones they had in like Mad Max, the Kawasaki KZ1000s.
Those are like the army bikes.
Yeah, those things rock.
Where is that biker gang? Right, where is the Mad Max aesthetic?
The Indian riding biker gang.
I guess they have to be the Australian ones, right? They're just like throwing paint at people and fucking like sawed-off shotguns and bondage gear.
Yes. Like that's the biker gang I'm gonna join. Mad Max.
Yeah, if you get some real like Fury Road ass like bikers, that'd rock.
That'd be pretty lit.
It's an interesting requirement. I'm not going to join your gang unless I'm allowed to show as much skin as I want while also having spikes at the same time.
Right, like I definitely need pierced nipples to be in this gang.
Minimum. That's like to be a prospect, you need to pierce your nipples.
They give you an application form and it just has on there like gauge size and it doesn't say for what. What is this for? Just pick
denied.
a side.
No, denied. To be like you ask for what? Denied.
To be a lieutenant, you need those like suspension hooks in your back.
You have to have a full gimp suit that you ride in.
Want to give an honorable mention to the guys that are all too broke to get in an actual motorcycle club out here and shut the streets of Cleveland down using dirt bikes and four-wheelers.
Hey, no, those dudes are lit. I just seen them the other day while I was driving around.
Yeah.
I fucking love those guys.
They shut it down out here.
Every time I see them, I get hyped. I'm like, yes, and I want to start following them.
I know.
But then I'm like, I can't follow them. I don't have a dirt bike.
Yeah.
like
they're
I'm not cool enough to chase after them.
The Cleveland like four-wheeler and dirt bike scene is pretty fucking awesome.
It's lit right now. It's popping right now. Like they're
ATVs
all
are
out.
great.
Especially in my neighborhood, it's kind of annoying.
It's like the thing that still makes me feel like young is when I see one of those guys, I'm like, fuck yeah. Instead of being pissed off.
Oh, I won't lie. You feel like a kid when you're on an ATV, no matter your age.
Oh shit, yeah. But it's just like, it makes me feel like, yeah, they're doing cool shit. I
keep saying those guys should like get candy and like throw them at the kids and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking, so that way everybody gets hyped.
Yeah.
Fucking,
They're trying to save up for their real bikes, bro. They don't have money to waste on the candy.
What was it? I heard of this
That's
phrase.
like a Pokemon.
Like,
they evolve into like a bagger bike gang.
Well, no, first they always go to like their like Kawasaki, like 750, you know what I'm saying? Then they wreck that bitch.
I already know the name of like the first stage.
Yeah, they run weed
just
around
called
on
wild
Kawasaki until they can level up to
some
running
fucking backers. So your original form, your base level evolution is fucking ATVs and candy.
Yeah, ATV hoodlums who do like graffiti and petty crime.
And like I said, I already have a name for it. First level, methy. And then eventually the name just gets lit a bit more complex as it goes on.
Yeah, that rocks. I'm into it. I'm sure there's something like incredibly problematic. I'm sure they like do something awful that I don't know about.
I did hear one time that they were like kicking cars and shit.
Yeah, I was listening. Well,
One time
that's
they
cool.
literally
That's fine
shut
if they kick
down
people's
the
cars.
road. Like there was like 75 of them, 100 of them,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
that's
went all
like-
the way from like Bedford to like through Middleburg Heights.
Yeah, that's like petty shit though. I don't care about that.
I mean, it was pretty cool. If you can gather that many people, if like they could do something positive with that.
I know.
But
Yeah.
like,
I'm just saying, I'm leaving wiggle room here. I was listening to an old episode and I definitely praised Mike Tyson and found out later he was a rapist. So
Yeah, what?
yeah, he got convicted for like sexual assault.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
also one of those sketchy situations where it was probably at a party where everybody was doing drugs.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson's making $30 million a fight, so
Yeah.
you can't really.
I'm just saying, I didn't know that at the time. I'm leaving wiggle
It might
room
be,
here.
it might
'cause
not
there's-
be, and like there's like video, like he has interviews of it where he like, I don't know, he describes it.
He's also got a fucking Chairman Mao and a Che Guevara tattoo. He's a man of contrast.
Yeah.
Weird derail, but he is coming back, and I
was
will
on
watch that fight.
He was on a wrestling show last weekend.
Wait. Hold on. Mike Tyson is coming back to fight?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard
He said the gods of war have spoken to him again, and they want him to fight.
Did he say which gods of war?
No, he said the gods of war. He does say in another video, shows him like sparring, like I'm fighting with the power of the god of Sanu or something like that. And then like he starts like throwing these crazy punches and like doing all this weird stuff. And then he like pets and kisses his dog.
Yo, I'm here for fucking Monk Mike Tyson fighting people. Like don't
get too hyped. He was on a wrestling show last weekend to reveal their new belt. Like he's not like hyper woke Monk Mike Tyson. Okay. He's still getting a paycheck too.
Also, no, he's getting a paycheck from it, but like he's supposed to make like they want him to do a bare knuckle boxing fight.
Oh shit!
He's supposed to make $20 million off of that. He's supposed to fight Vanderlei Silva, which is a UFC fighter.
I was like, Anderson Silva is way too small to be fighting Mike Tyson.
I was gonna say,
well, he's a heavyweight.
No.
Anderson Silva?
Maybe he's like a welterweight.
He fought fucking
Jordan St. Pierre and shit,
and motherfucking Money Mayweather, didn't he?
No, that was fucking Conor McGregor, dude.
Yeah. No, who was the big fight with fucking Mayweather before Conor McGregor, bro? I'm pretty sure it was Anderson Silva.
No, nobody fought from UFC to boxing besides Conor McGregor.
The only other person I know is Manny Pacquiao. I think fought
Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather is a big one. Okay. But that's boxer on boxer.
Yeah.
The first
he was small though. Manny
Conor
Pacquiao was like a small guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is a small guy.
Floyd Mayweather to read
Granted,
a book.
he'll kick all our asses, but still.
Absolutely. His height has nothing to do with his ability to
destroy
punch
us.
my lights out.
Who?
Manny Pacquiao.
Oh, Manny Pacquiao, yeah.
Just because the dude's like 5'2" doesn't mean he couldn't kill us.
Manny Pacquiao would kill us.
But by the same coin, me being a big fat guy does not have anything to do with my ability to like fight.
That is also true. Butterbean was a dude.
Yeah, but I don't even have skills. I'm just saying, like,
Butterbean used to fuck some shit up.
Butterbean didn't really have that much skills. He was a big fat dude.
Have you looked at his record? It's so I was doing this for some weird reason. The vast majority of the fights he was in, he won by knockout.
Yeah,
like
because he's fucking huge. You get hit by him, motherfuckers like getting hit by a truck.
yeah. Butterbean was no bitch.
It's like getting punched by the fuck. Like,
oh yeah, it's because I was watching Jackass again, and he got hit by Butterbean, and John Maxwell fell on the floor, and he's like, "Is Butterbean okay?"
What?
Butterbean is like a freak of nature.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
and like anybody named Butterbean,
I've never seen a guy shaped more like a jelly bean or a cannonball in my life.
Oh, so did you guys hear about the ATF agent that infiltrated the fucking Hells Angels? And then
Which time?
And then it was
yeah, because we already talked about one of those.
Well, no, that was starting up the Aryan Nations, Aryan Brotherhood's first motorcycle gang. The ATF did. Thank you, ATF.
Is this the guy that became a sergeant in arms?
I'm not 100%.
Is that a real rank they have?
It's the second highest rank.
That's some real lame shit. Sergeant at arms.
So was the guy that you're talking about named Jay Dobbins?
It's not a good comparison, Antoine.
I got a name in the article I was reading.
Okay, so this guy was an ATF agent who fucking like was informing on the Hells Angels, and they found out that he was informing on them, and the ATF was like, "Hey, yeah, no witness protection for you. We can't afford that." So they just abandoned this man, and the Hells Angels burned down his fucking house.
Burned down his house? Didn't they like come to the door and try to shoot him too?
Yep.
The guy I read about helped like arrest like 54 members and close like 6 at 8 different charters.
That's some real Fed shit, though.
Can we just say the coolest job in the ATF is to be a fucking motorcycle gang?
This man was just left to rot, though.
There was 4 to 5 undercover agents at that same exact time helping with those 52 arrests. Well, that's 2003, right? 2003?
Sounds about right.
Okay.
But yeah, but that is the most Fed shit of like, we can't afford your witness protection.
Yeah, right. Hello, agent that has worked for us for a decade plus.
Yeah. You still get a retirement plan. You still get a 401k.
Can I just say how much like literal fucking police work is going into motorcycle gangs, but no media attention is put there?
The Hells Angels,
they're obviously causing a huge amount of crime, and they get no media attention.
I looked it up. There's actually a 1%er phrase, not just Hells Angels, but in general, that says if you do it right, no one remembers. If you fuck it up, everybody will never forget. So their whole thing is about staying under the fucking radar.
My whole thing is
they
like,
exist, you know what they do, but you don't know when or where they're doing it.
Also, the easiest groups to infiltrate because they accept the people that can't get accepted to other crime organizations.
So you have to be invited to join a 1%er.
I would also say
you can't just join it.
Well, you have to like become a prospect and shit.
I mean, all you need is one confidential informant, and then he can bring in anybody in your district to be like, this guy, he's good.
You get the one guy, and then you can start inviting others. But like, you have to be a hang around first, and then if they think you're cool, then they'll invite you. Then you may become a prospect.
Right.
After that, showing that you're not just some, weekend warrior, you then become a probate, and then eventually, when you're a probate, that's when you start getting some of your colors, and then afterwards, that's when they give you like the full patch.
Yeah, but like
once you hit your meth pipe in the clubhouse, full patch.
It's one of those things where it's like, really. Most FBI agents are Mormons. So like the only gangs they can infiltrate are fucking the Aryan Brotherhood and like the Hells Angels because they're white guys. Like they're really limited.
Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they get into the white gangs the easiest.
Exactly. Like
they're like, yo, we can infiltrate easy, man. We got 99% success rate. We just go for the all white group.
One thing I will say about this Jay Dobbins is he was able to sue the American government,
of course,
for abandoning him, and was awarded $173,000 in damages.
I feel like that's a small number.
Yeah, that is a real small number.
He wrote a book about the ATF, and the ATF was not allowed to claim royalties for the book.
That's pretty good.
What was I gonna fucking say?
I was gonna say that's the thing that scares them so much about like Middle Eastern terrorist cells is because they don't employ any brown people. These fucking organizations.
Like, how the fuck are we supposed to get in?
Yeah, they have like in a lab. There's definitely some like lab somewhere where they're doing like brown face on people. Like, how convincing is this?
I can already see it on top of the J. Edgar Hoover building. There's a bunch of lawn chairs, and all the FBI agents got to go out there get a tan to blend in.
Yeah, they're there at Quantico teaching makeup arts. Do you like how can you look convincingly not white?
Right.
Have you heard of Self Tanner?
Shout out to the realist of the realist that they don't kick out of the gangs, but just let them do whatever they want and still claim the gang. The Nomad Bikers.
Oh hell yeah!
They're not claimed by any chapter, but they're part of the squad, and they could just pull up anywhere.
They're really awful and no one likes them, so they just like, you can ride on the road.
Or most of the time they're the murder for hire.
Yeah, bikers. They're just all oversharers, and like, we don't really want to talk. It's kind of like tiring to talk to you. Don't come to you're not allowed. You're banned from our clubhouse.
What was it?
He tells you about all his problems with his wife. And
like shit. In season 4 of Sons of Anarchy, when Jax became a nomad.
And in 2010, California started monitoring the Vagos round the clock.
Yeah.
So the Vagos started randomly planting fucking explosives to try to destroy police officers.
Fuck yeah.
And there was about 20 booby traps that they set in that year alone trying to kill police officers to get them to stop monitoring them around the clock.
I'm just going to say
apparently it worked.
One of those
guys, they're making explosives.
Police cowards. You just need to show force. And
literally, just like Sandy Hook.
Look, all I'm going to say is out of those 20 booby traps, if one of them wasn't just a joke version where it's okay, there's clearly a bomb over there, but that's also a jelly-filled donut. Who's going forward?
Mouse traps for cops.
There has to be a way to get it.
What?
There has to be a way to get the jelly donut.
They send in the Bob robot to get the donut.
Well, I think we've petered out on biker gangs here, huh?
Petered out?
More like stalled the fucking V8 engine.
Oh! And with that, that's not your ever since, baby.
Peace.
Later, people.